Hi, everyone. Welcome back to GG Podcast. We know we took a much needed break, but we are back and full of content. So, just to go around, everyone say hello. I am Dehydration.
It's me, Pride.
Oh, what's up? I'm Cup of Noodle.
And I'm Pac-Man 630.
And welcome back. So, to get everything started, what have you guys been doing this week? What did everyone miss?
Well, I've been trying to get my life back together because I spent the previous week with y'all.
In shambles. My life is in shambles now.
It is. I have not been the same since. You know, we all linked up. We got to hang out, and now I'm catching up on life.
If y'all were not aware, we did the last podcast, I want to say, the week after Valentine's Day, and then we took about, a 2-week break? But last week, we were in LA together. And now we're back.
Got to see the city. Isn't the city that never sleeps? Isn't that LA?
I think that's New
York.
York.
Oh,
That's really New York.
You did that?
No, we're LA. That's my world.
That's the city of angels, right?
There we
I
go.
knew it.
Wait, why is it the city of angels?
Los Angeles.
It's Los Angeles.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pride, I need you to realize you can't say that's the city that never sleeps, right? And then you get it wrong and then say, yeah, City of Angels, right?
But I knew it was one of the two.
Wait, while we're on it, isn't Nashville the Big Apple? Is that also New York?
No, that's New York.
Also Nashville.
Why does
Nashville is the what is
Isn't
that?
Nashville doesn't have a saying.
It does. It has
It's
something
like
to
the
do
city
with
of music or something.
Yeah,
I know Nashville
Oh.
is known for music, but what's the saying? It's not the city of music.
Isn't that where Radio
it
City?
is. It's like
Hold on.
something
I'm
Radio City
Radio
Music
City
Hall.
Music Hall is in New York.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
are god
Oh, is it
awful.
really?
Wow.
Wow. What is it? No, it's the
It's the
country
music
one.
city. It's the
The-
music city.
The
Music
country
capital
one
of
is
the
in
world?
The country's one is in Nashville. What is it? Not Radio City Music Hall. It's something
Um,
like all the
CMT?
country singers get inducted into it when they.
The Country Hall of Fame? Is that a thing?
I
I'm
don't.
saying CMT.
It's
but
something
that might
like
be
the Country Hall of Fame, but
Network.
I don't know
That
what
is
it's
definitely
called.
the Country Network.
What is it called? Oh, I'm never gonna remember.
We're
I'm
really gonna-
remember
yeah.
like in the middle. But anyway,
Pride, what's Florida's home
Florida's
of
the orange state.
Florida man and his wife?
Not the
Wow,
Florida.
Florida's the orange state, like
Why?
the oranges, because
Why?
Florida.
They
Oh,
have
oh.
oranges.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, don't yell at me like I just asked a genuine question.
What is Illinois then?
No, that's
Windy
Georgia,
City.
never
Well,
mind.
I don't. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
no,
Windy
Isn't
City.
Illinois the
Windy
industrial
City.
city? Isn't it like the industrial?
No, it has
Chicago's the
corn.
Windy City.
Yeah, Windy City, but then it's
Windy
like
City.
everything outside of Illinois, outside Chicago is real. It's something. So I'm just gonna say corn and then Windy City.
We did.
Well, you're in
this.
Arizona now, so I feel like that was just hot as feck.
Yes,
And
it
that's
is.
That's just it.
It really is. Roll
Okay.
dry.
Not hot as fuck.
It really is.
Arizona is something too. I don't remember what Arizona's is.
So every
It's
state
really
just has
hot
it.
as fuck.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
city has it like a tagline. I just don't know what they are.
Well, I'm glad
But
we
it's
covered
not, I
yeah.
think
those.
it has to be a real city in order to get one.
Yes.
I would
What-
like
what's not a real? What?
What's Baltimore's, V?
Charm
You
City.
did that.
Wait, why? Why is it charmed? I ain't see no charms
don't
while I was
know.
there.
No, it's called. First of all, you didn't go to Baltimore,
Wow.
but you wouldn't have seen the charm because it's so charming. You know.
No, for real. What's Baltimore's?
I just told you. It's Charm
Oh, that
City.
charm was real? Oh, that was very
Wow.
underwhelming.
Wow.
Oh, it is called the Country Music City, the Country Music Hall of Fame. It's in Nashville, Tennessee.
I said that too. That's really
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
Hi, charm.
It is.
Hi.
Okay, but okay, that was great. So,
does anyone have any stories to tell on
Yeah.
this great week?
Oh,
I think
well,
Pride had a story.
I do have a story, but my
Oh.
story is a lot for me.
Do I need to
personally.
stretch before this story?
Yeah.
No, check me out.
Oh.
Like I had a rude awakening the other day about how small the world is, and when I tell you, it shook me to my core. So I'm at work, right, and a gentleman comes up to me and asks me for my assistance, right, and all of a sudden I hear a very familiar tone. It's the tone for the Grinder app. And for those of you who don't know, Grinder is an app that gay people use to hook up on, right? And it makes a very distinct noise when you get a message. So most gay people keep their phones on silent because they don't want people knowing their business. But every now and then you forget, and then you'll hear the Grinder blue, and you'll see like 4 heads turn towards you because those 4 heads know that you up to no good. So I'm helping this gentleman, and I hear the very distinct Grinder tone, and both of us instantly lock eyes and reach for our phones. So then,
Now that was awkward.
so the secret was out, right? So we both put out our phones to see who it was, and it was me. So then we both laughed about it, and And then we started talking, and then the story goes on to proceed to him telling me, "Hey, follow me on Instagram." And I'm like, "Okay, sure. Give me your tag." And he gives me his name on Instagram, and I look him up. And again, I holler and almost drop my phone because in the top, in the mutuals, it said followed by Pac-Man 630, and I almost died. And I almost died. I really did, and immediately I tried to call Philip, and I said, "This is ridiculous, and I hate it here."
So who was this person? Philip, you know them or you just
I
heard
it's okay. So indiscreetly, you know what word? You know what?
discreetly?
Yeah,
Okay, come on,
indiscreetly.
Okay.
This person that was in Florida is LA and Arizona based, and I kind of stay in both locations now. But essentially, it was a acquaintance of an acquaintance. So I know a person who knows that person, which is why I know him.
Oh, this world is sickishly
Yes,
small.
And
You know
yes, it
what? I
is.
that
never
was
need to
the
go outside
I hate
again.
that.
when I
That
tell
is
you, I
distressing.
immediately called Philip and said, "Philip, I'm tired."
Imagine me trying to get this live my best life and then I'm being messy. And as soon as I follow someone, I see B's face. That's when I'm cutting my phone off. That's when I'm really making a
I
big
said,
right thing.
"Oh, I hate it
And it
here."
was,
I
and
said,
when
this gay world is real small.
and then we got on the phone, and it proceeded to get even smaller. But
Oh, okay,
it really was.
it
Yeah,
really was.
it got real small. The world is real small. It turns in all 80 ways.
I was like, "Oh wow." 6 degrees of separation is a real thing.
It
It's
is.
So,
crazy.
Brad, I'm asking, since you know that Philip knows and then y'all all know, you going to utilize that IG or is it too many people knowing?
Oh, for me, there was no interest whatsoever because once again, I'm in a relationship and I'm kind of
That is
committed.
very
So we
Yay!
have certain
That was
rules.
a
So
test,
there
and I'm
was
very
no
proud to be a
Come
part of
wow.
it.
Philip
That's
kind of
Because
committed.
had you had got
Come
that wrong,
on.
I was
that's
about to turn around. I'm
that's
telling you now.
Air it out, sis.
You
Air
better
it
turn
out.
around. You better turn around,
wow.
sis.
The
Now,
way.
I have a question because you have absolutely no interest, right? But
Hmm.
you did the friend things on IG. Why?
Yes.
Are you going to talk to this person?
I
I've
mean,
gotten to a point where why do we follow people that we have no plans of interacting with
I
them
think
at?
I don't think for me, like interacting sexually, no. But maybe he might be a cool person. Maybe there might be a friendship there. Who knows? But am I interested in this in any other way other than that? Other
See,
than
and
platonically? No.
when you word it like that, I feel like the asshole because I don't want to be anybody's friend.
I
Is
feel you
that
on
wrong
that
with
on a
me?
certain level.
Yes,
No, that's it's
you
not
are
wrong with you
asshole.
because 9 times out of 10 I feel the exact same way. But because of that coincidence, I would have never known if I'd have not taken out my phone
This
and
is
hit that
fair.
follow. I would have never known. You get what I'm saying?
Because they're local. See, the fact that y'all ran into each other and you was at work, that means you are local. So
Yep.
the worst thing, I don't know why people do this. You run into someone, you be like, "Hey, we ought to link up," and I'd be like, "Okay."
Uh,
Now
And
I
then
know
you
what
see them
I'm
every
uh,
day
doing,
after.
a damn lie. I
Yeah.
I
already
hate
know I'm
that.
lying. I'm already knowing. I remember
Yeah.
we were at the grocery store and Porter ran into an old friend, and the way he lied and was like, "Oh no, I just went grocery shopping for my family." And I remember
You
looking
did
at him
that.
like, "What
I
you
love
want this
that.
for?" I was so confused, like, "No, we not doing that." But I didn't hate on him. So I told him, "Oh, you a liar?" He was like, "Not really. I ain't trying to hang out with nobody." So I was like, "What happens if we see him again?" Well, then we shopping for parents again. I said, "All right, that's all you had to do." All right.
Y'all did that. Wow.
I don't like
Oh.
making them fake plans because I know I don't want to.
I don't
Local
look at
friends,
it as like fake plans because
oh, it's
even
fake because I'm
so,
lying.
It's fake
because like
intentions. It's
like
very much fake intentions.
we didn't make plans to hang out. It was literally just, hey, follow me on Instagram, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. It wasn't like,
Because
That's
y'all had
fair.
made that
yeah,
But when
connection.
you
yeah,
run
yeah.
into people
Hmm.
and you know what comes up, oh, we should hang out one
Oh
day.
yeah, oh
How
yeah,
many
yeah.
times have
yeah.
you said okay, and how many
And
times have you
never,
actually done?
Or we're
very much,
active. It's
yeah.
real passive. Like,
When I tell
okay.
you, when I tell you, living in a town where I live in a city where I went to high school and where I went to middle school, so I see a lot of faces sometimes, and I'm like, oh, and they're like, hey, how's life been? And I'm like, great. And they're like, hey, what are you doing? Because I don't have friends anymore, and I'm like, not me, I'm good. So
Not them tagging you in for a friend. Yeah, see,
yeah.
no, that would be tough for me.
Yeah, not to mention, like, I hated you in high school. I probably will still hate you now. So
You've been out of high school for so long that I just know
so
it has to be
yes,
sufficiently awkward to run
yes,
into
very
people
much, very
from
much,
high school.
very, very much so, and I hate it. I hate it.
Wait, so
I'm
Philip, what
I'm
was your
nosy.
story?
I actually did have a story this week.
Look at okay.
So I was perusing through Snapchat. Very briefly. I don't go on that application that much anymore. But you know, Snapchat is where I find all of my high school acquaintances, friends, if you will. And I came across this heterosexual male. We've actually covered this topic before in our streams. If you visit our streams, we've covered this topic before, and one person in our team definitely has had this issue before. But you know, he took a picture in the light, and the light was hitting his face, and the skin was beaming. And I said, "Oh, you have such nice skin." But in my head, I was like, "I know you use head, shoulders, knees, and toes for
Wow.
all of your face routine. I just know you do." So I hit him up. I swiped up.
Wow.
I was like, "Hey,
That's
what's your skin
crazy.
routine?" It gets worse from here because I was real angry. I was like, "What's your skin routine?" He's like, "Oh, I don't have one." And I was like, "Oh, I figured you look like." I'm not like you look like a type, but I knew that there wasn't anything going on, but you have this great, amazing skin. And then he hits me with, "Yeah, sorry, my bad, I don't have one, but thanks though." And I was like, "Bitch, hold
Because of
on,
thanks.
I have mine." Yes, he said, "Oh yeah, sorry, I don't have a skin routine, but thanks though," because I complimented him. I said, "You have really nice skin, and I know the circumstances that your skin be going through." But then he hits me with the sorry, like I wasn't asking. So I had to elaborate and be like, "I wasn't asking."
Like, I'm sorry, your skin is trash. But
Yes.
Okay, wait. Okay, so here's my question. Is not having a skin routine really bad? I'm asking for a friend.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna be honest. When I was younger, I had nothing, but I also didn't need to. I feel like as you get older, that's when those routines start kicking in. But I feel like if you want to do it when you're younger, it really is just like a preemptive thing. Like you start getting it going, so you don't got to worry about it down the line. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think you should be made to feel bad because
Okay.
a lot
And
of people don't when you're younger. And honestly speaking, a real skin regimen like what we do now, like I know B has a 27-step facial process.
wow.
That's fairly new. Like that's that new beauty vlogger, YouTube, IG life. People were not taking 40
Correct.
steps back in the day,
Yeah.
barely washing your face to begin with.
See, it's the way that I look at Jackie. If you ever see one of
Yeah,
Jackie Inez
I
go
see
to bed with
Jackie
these
does
videos, it'd be a 40-minute video. Like this salon.
Jackie takes 3 hours to just do one
She's
single
like, let me
thing.
put on this mask, and then I'm gonna put on this serum,
That's
this
not
other
the norm,
serum,
though.
this
So,
wash,
but then,
this tone.
but then also asking for a friend. What's wrong with buying one of those 3-in-1s from the store and just using
this
that?
is the problem.
What's
Your
wrong with
face,
that?
like it is all skin, and that's what I'm saying. It's not good or bad to have one. Like you could just splash some water on your face and you're all good. However, I don't understand the concept of like, let me rub this soap that I use, that like the 3-in-1, the conditioner, shampoo, body wash, and you're like, you know what I need to hit? My face. And it's like, wait,
because what you lose in product, you gain in
Okay,
time.
but Pride, you have to
Imagine.
understand that conditioner and shampoo are working on your scalp. Your scalp is a different set of skin than your face. Your face is a different set of skin than your
body,
elbow.
yes.
They
That
shouldn't
makes,
all be using the same
when
thing.
you say it like that, it makes sense. When you say it like that,
And you also have to
Yeah.
keep in mind it
so
really
now I got to
is
throw my
heavily-
3-in-1 away. Okay.
it's going to be heavily dependent on where you
You.
live
Yes.
because these
That
things matter.
too.
Like for me,
Ooh.
I have to think about hydration. Shout out to B because I live in Cali,
Ah.
and the fluoride in the water is real. Your face has a lot of different sets. It's like a map, and it's weird. Under your eyes, the skin is going to be more sensitive. It's going to be a lot thinner. So you really got to think that through before you start rubbing on your face like a crazy person. It's a problem. Around your mouth tends to wrinkles, depending on just there's things. If you're Florida, so I'm assuming it's hot.
And
But
wet. It's
humid.
real moist.
It's
Yeah,
real
it's real
humid.
humid.
Very wet humid.
These are things that you have to think about is going to dictate how you go about, your skincare routine. I'm here for it, but
And
I
so
don't
a
think
so a 3-in-1 in all these different parts of your skin, and then you just slather one that's meant for multi-purpose things. I don't know. I feel like shampoo and conditioner are a little bit more intensive. Yes, they're more intensive because you have to use that to clean your hair and in your scalp. I just feel like that's more intensive than like what the regular face things would have, skincare things would have.
Mm-hmm. Can
Okay.
I would like to make a comment on the California water situation. I was not prepared to go to California and, be brushing my teeth, about to sprinkle, my mouth. And I'm like, why is my hand kind of cloudy with this water?
First
What's
of all,
happening
you
here? What
chose
is
not to
this?
be prepared. I tell
No,
y'all at least once a week, Callie has a lot of fluoride in the
That
water.
that water was real
I
hard. When I
have
tell you,
never seen water
Do I
come
not
out
say
not
this at
clear.
least
when
once a
I
week?
tell you my shower felt
All
like
these
bullets,
stories? I I told y'all I had to get a water softener in my house, and I
just
told
getting
y'all
the
the
shot.
story
That
about when I went to
hard
the middle
water.
school and the water looks like milk,
It
and then you
really
got to wait
does.
until it goes clear. I warned y'all about fluoride in Cali water. Now, does it suck? Absolutely. But in saying that, we do have really white teeth. That's
But
the
not
only
me
difference.
getting shot.
You
Not
do
me getting
really,
shot in this
the
shower.
water feels like BB guns, but your teeth be shining
Water
and white.
hard.
Water is very hard. But I warn y'all of that all the time. That's a Cali thing. I don't know why it's getting worse, but but because of that, you really got to moisture everything because it will dry out. You just come out the shower gray as hell. That's the thing.
Oh,
That
Wow.
water is drying.
It really is.
So what was that? B, do you have a story or was that
I don't know. I don't have a story. Life, work sucks.
a mood? A
Yeah.
mood. Okay.
I am literally in that basket. Life definitely lifed. I'm playing catch up. I'm getting ran all of the mucks, and I really just want to do nothing,
So
or at least
I have an imposing question since y'all don't have stories. How did it feel coming back from vacation mode essentially into real
Hated
life?
It was so
Hated it.
How
When
did
I
it
tell you, I
feel?
just finished unpacking yesterday. My suitcase
Wow!
when I tell you I still haven't unpacked a thing. My suitcase is still
Wow!
very much sitting there. Still sitting there.
all them
Still
clothes are just
sitting there.
balled
Just
up.
just balled up
Not
in
all the
there. And
shirts,
I
not the
just
chain shirts being in further chains of
yeah,
wrinkles.
the way my chain shirt is just wrinkled, just a wrinkled mess. But it's okay because I can just throw it in the dryer and it'll be fine.
All right, so
Um,
I'm the minority. I was actually happy to be home. I had fun with y'all, and I was really
Imagine you having a
because she has
family to
something to
get
come
back.
home to.
Right?
She said,
Imagine you
"Ooh,
having
I'm
something
not
to come
gonna lie.
home
I
to.
really, I had fun with y'all, but it was like by the time I hit that freeway, I was like, oh, I'm just ready to be home. I missed my bed, that Airbnb.
oh, the blankets.
Oh,
Come on,
there's
the
a lot.
blankets.
There's
Oh, the blankets.
We had a sham, Roku, gobbledygook.
We had
Uh,
cold water. We took cold water showers for about
the
four
thing
uh,
was
days.
that going to
you
sleep
know what?
cold and waking up
Ah,
cold."
Let's talk about the Airbnb. The
uh,
landlord's like, y'all don't need hot water, right?
let
She
me.
said, "It's
And
hot
Ooh.
enough."
these things, it was a lot. I was very much ready to come home. I missed working, which sounds really foolish, but after a while, I miss everybody. I miss normalcy. I don't
I
really
don't
like,
think it's I don't think it's foolish to miss work if you love what you
What you
do.
do.
Yeah.
I,
I
however,
don't
don't
And I
love what I do.
yeah, it's
hated
very much
it.
that. Very
I
much that.
hate what I do.
I miss the normalcy that is, you get up and you work a little bit and then you stream. I don't know. I missed it. And again, we did not have a comforter, and that whatever that was trash, and I'm good. So other than that,
I still haven't left a review. I know he gave me a 5-star review, but I don't know if I want to leave it. I can't even look at the review right now. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna
The
say to
water
you.
was lukewarm, a suggestion of warmth.
well, that wasn't until like day 2, because the day 3, the first couple days, it was very cold.
It really was. And then we
See,
got lukewarm.
I can't even speak on that because my showers were nice and hot. So I
Because
can't.
he woke up at the ass crack.
That's true, but and I just
You had to
that wasn't a complaint from me.
I don't have a story, but I will say this. As a California native, I try to big up Cali as much as I can because I'm happy here. I love it here. But in saying that, Californian Uber drivers are hands
Oh my God.
down
The way I'd repressed that memory, but you brought it right back up.
have the
Ooh,
pleasure. And I want so much more for us. I want better for us.
the
I've been
way.
to Seattle. I've been to Boston. I've been to different states, gotten in different Ubers, even up north. San Francisco wasn't nearly as bad. But something about LA, I'm even gonna put this on you, Callie, because San Diego wasn't wilding like that.
It wasn't.
LA,
No,
what's
it
wrong
really
with
wasn't.
y'all? Why don't y'all pull over to the curb like you got some sense? Why did I almost have to lose my ankle
Oh, her ankle, her shoes.
in order to hitch a ride with y'all? It really was a lot. And I thought Boston was wild because they be cussing each other out and I'm walking here.
Now,
Boston was wild as far as Ubers went. But nah, LA, y'all are now at the top of my list for absolutely not. And I don't even like driving out there, but it's like it's either that or I lose an appendage. It really
I really repressed the terror that was that Uber ride, and you really brought that memory right back to the surface.
but
All
they
I can think about,
it was like
ooh,
all of the rides.
it
None
was
of
It
so
them.
was that
bad.
one who tried to have some
Yeah,
chest, and then he sat
yeah, and
quiet
then
that
yeah,
It's
entire
like, oh,
ride.
what y'all going through? Oh, never mind. Let me sit down.
He's like, I
yeah.
just say respect my car.
I just want to put one more thing in the air before I think we can move on. I just want y'all to know Kaysen is consistent to her shoes because I saw her ankle almost do a 360 turn and break, and then Kaysen, instead of saying my foot, my ankle, she said my shoes, not my shoes. I'm not about to crank my shoes. I was like, Kaysen,
Yeah,
you almost lost
she
your
really said,
foot.
yeah, I
My
almost lost the foot,
priority
but her shoe.
priority. And I didn't think anything about it. I just saw it twisting. And I'm telling you, it looked like something from Saw. And I just really about to look in the rear view and be like, game over. I was like, wait. But then
But
I'm like, that was
I
my
will
first
say
time
though,
driving around, and I didn't want to hurt my shoes.
not all of the drives are bad though. There was just the
Yeah.
two off. The one that really got me is if I'm ordering an Uber XL, do not show up in a mid-size sedan talking about this is an XL, because that I'm ordering an XL for a reason. Obviously, there's a lot of us, so I'm not gonna show up. Don't show up in a mid-size fucking sedan talking about some. Oh, this is an Uber XL. But anyway, that was all I had.
You know, you would think they would pull over because they're in a whole van and there's
Yeah,
not it's not like it's a four door and literally you don't pull over, y'all. They're just slowly moving and you just gotta jump in. You gotta jump in like your life
A
depends.
drive by, a
And
whole
that's
drive
what
by.
happened. And then when we weren't thrilled, and then they weren't thrilled because everybody was just jumping in their car, it turns into why y'all not talking? Y'all kill someone? Nah, man, that was the weirdest exchange I've ever had.
We almost didn't have a ride home. We almost
we
didn't.
almost
You
didn't.
really did
I
it.
was ready to shut that ride
I was
down.
like, who was he talking to?
I
Not
said,
us. It couldn't have
I
been
said
me.
something back, and it was just like, I'm not about to argue with this man because it's kind of cold.
Yeah,
It
I
really
did.
was a little chilly.
It
It
A
was a
little
little
chilly.
nippy.
So I'm
But
gonna be quiet, but
I
when he
was mad
leaves,
at first. Like, we got in as good as we could, considering our situation, since you don't want to pull the car over. But outside of that, I ain't arguing with you because it's nippy as hell, and we are
yeah,
nowhere near the B&B. So I don't care about your feelings. Ask me what you won't get. A tip.
Tip.
Let me take me home.
oh, big fat zero.
Well, that
But
Nothing.
anywho, are we getting into the what was the month of excellence? Is
yes,
that
we
Yes.
concluded Black History Month, February, my birth month. How do we
all right?
feel? Were there any big standout things that y'all would like to talk about in this month? We have a lot that happened.
So we're leaving impressions in this month of oppression, right? So that's what we're
Wow.
going for.
You did that.
So,
You did that.
You really
so
did.
here's the so here's the question though. The quick Black History. So what's a day in the life of a black, if you will? What does being black mean?
In Black History Month. Oh,
What does being black mean to you? Let's get into that. Let's give that rigmarole. You know?
I may be,
Um,
for me, I mean, it's whatever I want it to be because there's nothing
Come
I can
on,
or cannot do that doesn't make
come
me
on.
any less black. And I dare someone to try me. That's all I
Mhm.
there's nothing I
Wow,
can or
wow.
cannot do because it's
Mm.
just who we are. And that's just what
Church.
it is. But you
shut
know,
up, church.
Ooh, that was I got moved by that little
Pride,
sermon.
if
You heard
you
that.
shut up,
the things he's doing,
is a lot.
all of that. Oh, okay.
I would like to agree with that and say it's very much, we came from a place of oppression. We were
Mm.
dragged here. And,
Um,
just for people to know, I'm not my ancestors
Sister
in
King King.
attitude.
I'm a.
But that does not mean because I'm not my ancestors that you need to put on a t-shirt so the girls know that we're not our ancestors. Let them know when it's time. I'm
Mm.
tired of y'all putting stuff on shirts. Stop putting stuff on shirts.
How much of that is edgy, or is it supposed to be edgy, informative? What is it?
What? Putting it on a t-shirt?
I
Yeah.
don't understand
I
why
don't
the girls
under.
put
But
everything on t-shirts.
here's my take on it. Like when you put something on a t-shirt, it's like we're in a day and age where being black is trendy as much as it is decisive. Like being black gets you clout, it gets you views, it gets you whatever you need it to get you, right?
It's true.
So it becomes a fine line of who's dancing, who's doing a dance, and who wants to be heard. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying?
I
So
feel
there's
that.
a who knows what's altruistic actually at this point.
Well, it's one of those things where you have to stop and ask yourself, when things come your way, are they
Yeah.
coming your way because it's something that's deserved, something that was meant to be, something you worked for, or do they only come your way when you have to do that cute reminder of, I'm
Yeah.
black?
I,
Exactly.
And if
Yeah.
I keep having to remind you, it would, I don't know, what happens when I don't? Does that mean nothing happens?
I, I
Exactly. And
definitely
then
feel like. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to answer the
no, go ahead,
question.
go ahead, go ahead.
For me being black in Black History Month is it's okay. I'm black 365 days of the year, so the month that we get is like okay, I'm black, but it's like you feel the most seen, but then you just feel like you're also the most looked at, and
Mm.
it
Mm.
becomes a lot. And but
Or look, I never understood. So
yes,
go figure.
yeah, but
If oh, you good. I'm sorry.
we no. No, I didn't really have anything else to say after that. That was it. I just
No,
did the
I
breath
was
for the
gonna say,
period.
like this is like for the past few years, maybe it's just a me thing, but I feel like no one's ever had an emphasis on Black History Month. And it's not even really the past few years. I feel like, this is kind of new because I'm not young. And growing up, we did the basics. We talked about the same four individuals, Frederick
Mm-hmm.
Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. It was never a big deal when I was in school, but it was never not. No one ever made little weird. It was never, it was just a thing. It was a thing that we knew come February we did, and then everyone kind of did it moving.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a good thing. I wouldn't say it was a bad thing. It was just a thing. But now it's kind of become way bigger now than I could have ever possibly remembered. And in saying that, I feel like for all the good that's come from it, there's also times where I'm kind of like, this a lot. I kind of can we just go back to being honest about it? Because now I'm seeing more people hype about things, but it's like you don't really care. Can we go back to the days where you kept it a little more real, where you weren't pretending and smiling in my face for a singular month, and then we do it moving?
I
I
think.
kind
Oh, go ahead.
no, I just kind of miss the days where people were more honest about where they stood, as opposed to you got to try to figure out who is who and what is what. I, I just miss that level of normalcy.
That is right. I think it's just with the culture, very much that everyone's very performative now with everything they do. Like not just Black culture,
Companies are
any
killing me with this.
idea.
Companies are
Everyone's just
killing.
performative. And for one, it definitely is companies too. But I think because companies do it, people feel more comfortable doing it on a personal, individual level, which is why we see a lot of what we see on social media. Because again, everything's social media. Like, oh, I'm going to put this whole billboard up for Black people. You see what I'm doing for Black people? This billboard. But what did you actually do for Black people other than letting people know, hey, there's Black people. It's their
Yeah.
month. You see it?
I
Because
want
it
to say
is.
T-Mobile, they had like a survey that said, how you know if you have white privilege. Now, white T-Mobile would do,
No.
yeah. And the questions were
What did
like
they
insane.
gain? What did they
First,
gain from this?
the
What it
questions were like way out. One of them was kind of like, if it's tax time and you feel like you gonna be in trouble, then or you don't feel like it's gonna be a problem for you, then you may have privilege.
but
Wait.
see that's a
Hello.
scare.
Wow.
Wow,
How?
wait,
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 that's a lot.
hold
They said
on.
tax fraud, privilege.
They
Wait.
said,
Hold
that's something the
The
Blacks do.
thing
So
that
just
people
know.
base privilege on, because I mean, people use the word privilege a lot of times. That shit is just ignorance. I don't care
Yeah,
what you
Yeah.
tell me. I was
exactly.
watching a documentary, and this white man was at a liquor store, and like some liquor stores, the cashier it's raised, so the cashier is actually standing higher than you to make
Mhm.
sure you can't rob them. Right? You can't put the gun in my face. I'm higher than you. That's a thing. And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, this liquor store, I always thought it was cool because it was like a tower and they were like a king looking down on you. And
Oh wow.
ignorance.
Not
You
you
don't
just
know
being
why
a big dumb. Yeah.
it's lifted for a reason, so they don't have a gun point blank in their face. That's ignorance to me. That
Yeah.
is something that I don't consider that privilege. That you don't know what that means. That means you've just never. It's not for you. You don't understand it. That's you being ignorant to the situation. I don't consider that privilege. Those are two different things.
Yeah. But I guess it is a privilege to have ignorance. Cause not
Yes.
like such as like ourselves or others in situations,
We aren't
That's
allowed to
also
be
we
yeah.
ignorant.
aren't allowed to
Yeah,
be
That's
that's
ignorant.
true.
also
We are
yeah,
not
that's
allowed
very
to be
true. Yeah.
because no one's
No,
ever going to
It,
ignorance is
explain it,
yeah.
bliss.
and we only
Ignorance
find
in
out the hard
itself
way.
is very much a privilege.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And imagine not having to know. Imagine
Yeah.
living
Not
a life where
Right.
needing
you
to know.
can't
That's the
willfully
yes.
not know. we don't get to not know, because when we do learn, we learn the hard
Hard
way.
way.
You
Right.
know,
And that goes along with the, the people like, oh, I don't see color. Like, but people will always see my color. So you
Yeah.
choosing to not see color is doing what for anyone else
but
exactly
that
except ignoring
doesn't
that people are
exist. And
different.
that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, to me, that's more of an issue than you just
Right.
not saying anything. I think that's a very weird standpoint. No one just randomly says, "Oh, well, I'm looking at you, but I don't see your color." Who says this? That doesn't make
Again,
sense.
that whole I don't see color thing was born from ignorance. People
It was.
thought if when you say that, it means you don't discriminate, but that's not what that means. That
It
This
just
means
means
I
literally you
Oh,
ignore
I
feeling
everyone and their
definitely see it.
cultural
you
differences.
you
We
feeling the need to bring up the fact that you don't see color in itself is a problem.
That's like me having a zit on my face and you saying, "Oh, I don't see your zit. I'm not looking at it," but you just said something about it, which means you definitely see it. Which
Yeah.
means, what are we doing right now? Now you trying to convince me otherwise? I think it's foolish. Yes, I see it. That doesn't have any notion on how I'm gonna treat you. I treat everyone the way they deserve to be treated at all times. But I think it's foolish to look at someone and say, "Oh, I don't even see it." I've never really thought anything of it. That's just what it is. I've never looked at it and say, "Oh, well, you're Hispanic, so now I have to move like this," or "You're white, I have to do things like that." I don't change who I am, but I think it's foolish to say I don't see it.
Mm.
Right. Because even that comes from people who don't have to see it. Because usually that's coming from a place of privilege to where like, oh, my color's never affected me personally. So it should be the same for you guys, but it's
that's not
not
how that works. Correct.
ever.
Have there ever been moments for you where you feel like it was in fact, a black thing?
In the positive or negative.
Yeah,
Both.
both.
Both for me.
I mean, I feel like it could be anytime like you walk into a store and you just like, why do I feel like everyone's looking at me? That type thing. I'm trying to think in a positive way. Unless you're around other black people, it's just like, hey, black people, how we doing?
Mm.
Versus if you were to walk into a white space and it's
I,
just like, oh,
I've definitely gotten in like positive from it, but it was in the context where it was like, oh, this is semi positive because of the products I'm getting, but like still negative. Like in high school, I was the only honors student or like around my like friends that were black. And so I was kind of, I was the token, if you will, which, that led to benefits and doubts.
Yes.
And it's like I'm not
Mhm.
proud of being the token, but that was the circumstances. So there has been positive, but the positives have never outweighed the negatives. Have never.
Do you think it's fair that all because you're the only, by default, you are considered the token? Because I've never thought that was fair. Because
No, I
It's
don't.
not fair, but it is what it is.
It
'Cause
is what
but
it
I
is.
don't think it
it
should
is.
be that, because once upon a time, it was kind of what it was.
Token meant
I don't
something. When you
think
were a token, you meant something.
Jackie Robinson wasn't the token. That's
Yeah,
trash.
exactly.
There's going to be situations in life where we may be the only, but we could just be the first. And if we do things, accordingly, we won't be the last. I would hate to see instances where we don't do things because we feel like we're the only one, which by
Doing
default
it.
will make us the token. Once
Mm.
upon a time, some of the greatest individuals who have ever done anything in the history, Tuskegee Airmen. I'm not calling them token. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There has to be a line where we don't play ourselves. It's really tough because we'll see someone else doing something, and if they're the only one, now they're the token. Are we
Yeah.
saying that about Michelle and Barack? Are they token?
See, I think that just depends on how you look and use the term because it sounds like you would look at it as a limiter versus a just descriptor of what's happening. Because, for example, I'm one of the only black people on my team, and of course, like I'm technically the token, but it's not because I'm at any point limited in what I'm doing. I just happen to be the only black person.
Exactly.
And if you're looking at token as if, oh, you're a token because you're only there because you are the only one, I feel like that in itself is limiting ourselves in what,
Yeah.
we're actually doing. Because even when people do use the term token, like again, it's not always in a negative way. You just happen to be the only one.
In
And
this
if you just say you're the only black person, then
It's mainly because
Throw out there. Like anytime you see if there's only one black person in anything, by
Mhm.
default, they're the token. Because
Yeah.
token makes it sound like you're not qualified. You shouldn't be there. You're only there
You're
to
only there because
yeah,
to fill a quota. And
term.
that's why the term token in itself has a negative connotation behind
Exactly.
it. So that's why when people say token, it's automatically looked at as a negative thing.
For me,
But being the only black isn't always a bad thing. It
no,
isn't It isn't always a bad thing.
Mm.
I
But that word itself just has so much negative connotation behind it.
That's my thing. I feel like if by default, if you see just one black person doing something and your first thought is token, that's not
Hmm.
really a them thing. That's kind
No,
of
that's a you thing. That's definitely you. That's definitely something you need to work out in your own mind to figure out why you're immediately angry at this black person for doing him
Wait,
or doing her.
I
I'm
do have a
sorry.
question. If you're comfortable, has there been moments like this for you that you would like to share? Is there one that comes to mind, or
Like being like being.
not a token, but like where being
Uh,
black in a setting was definitely a
oh,
factor?
definitely. Like I live in a predominantly white neighborhood. I live in a predominantly white area. That's just where I live. So I remember one day I was going into an office building nearby for a doctor's appointment, and I got in. I hit the button for the elevator, and the elevator doors open. And there was just a one singular old white lady in the elevator. And as soon as I stepped in, she immediately looked uncomfortable, right? And I'm like, okay, here we go. So I closed the door, and I guess my appointment was on like floor 6, and she hit the button for like floor 8 or something. So we were on this ride all the way up together by ourselves, right? And when as soon as the doors closed and I got in the elevator, she immediately stepped as far away as she could from me. And I'm like, okay, fine. She's giving me personal space. It's whatever. That's fine. I'll give her space too. And then I glanced over out of my peripheral and she is clutching her purse for dear life. And I'm like, does she really think I'm about to mug her in this elevator? I don't understand what's going on here. So I looked at her and I just gave it to her or whatever. So I looked at her once. I turned and glanced to her, and then I, kept my head forward. And then her the elevator door dings for her floor, and she proceeds to start to leave. And something, the pettiness in me leapt out a little bit, and I just barked at her a little bit, and then she started running a little faster.
Oh
Now,
my
And then,
God!
not
then
you
the door,
barking.
the door,
Not you DMXing at her.
not
the doors
DMX.
closed. The doors closed, and I, went on to my
Probably
appointment.
how'd you bark at her though?
I was just like,
Was it a little growl or a
no, I
reverse?
was. It started as a growl. She walked past me. I was like, and then when she got to the door, I was
So
like,
now you got people thinking
and
black people growl
Wow.
at people. Where
Ooh.
my dogs at?
I mean,
Meow pride.
to be fair, she already thought I was a mongrel anyway, so might as well gave her one.
That's
That's
valid.
You
Yeah.
get what you get what you deserve sometimes.
You do.
It is. I couldn't help it. I was just a little petty. That's
Come
all.
on, and that never hurt nobody. I feel like it's a little weird in this. Like, I feel like it's weird deciphering between actual actions and performances in this month. And
Mm.
I definitely feel like it's a. I don't know if any of you of others feel like it. Not others, but if you feel like this. But I feel like when you try and be like, oh, this seems really performative, then it's like, oh, you're just anti-black and you don't want to see anything done, or you don't want this and this done, or you don't want XYZ done. It's like, no, I just don't feel like you're doing it for the right cause. Is that something that you've also felt during this month?
I may be, I don't know. I just feel like I'm weird and that's fine. When I tell you, I don't care. If people care about February, if people don't care about February, it has nothing to do with me. I'm it's not my job to change you or enlighten you or try to make you understand me. So for me, if you do something, and honestly, we can all see it. If you want to know if it's performative, all you got to do is stop and ask yourself, would you be doing this under any other
Yep.
circumstances? Is this something that you really want to be doing? Are you hoping to truly gain something from this in the scope of, oh, people are going to see this and think I'm that? Because if so, then it's trash and
Yep.
don't do it. But if it's something that you genuinely want to do,
Because you
and
genuinely care.
then go for it. And no
Yep.
matter how you do this, people will feel however they want to feel. So even if it's coming from a good place, people still may come for you and say, it's performative, and that you can't help.
You
But if it's
can't.
something you genuinely wanted to do, you'll do it either way. But I'm not here. It's always going to be a weird notion where it's like it's just for a month. Whether we like it or not, no matter what people do, whether it's from the goodness or on some performative ish, it's literally just for
Just
the
a
month.
month.
And then after that, what do you got? We still got 11 whole months. So if you're banking on this 1 month, it's gonna be a long ass year. You see what I'm saying? It's only March. So if we were banking on February to change everything, then us as a whole, we're not going about this right. I'm not sitting around treating Black History Month like Christmas, like, oh, this is my time, I've arrived. No, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I consistently do. If people want to acknowledge it because this month is our month, then that's fine. And if not, that's fine too. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's a singular month and we got a long year. And for who we are and what it is we do, it shouldn't be something that we only do for the month. Y'all, people saying Black History Month and talking to us about being Black as if we're not going to be Black for the rest of the year. Like something's suddenly going to change come March. It's like, what do you want me to say to you? To be honest, I'm really over having those conversations. I really don't. I didn't want to have them to begin with. What
Yeah.
do you want me to tell you about me? Because you're never going to understand me. Just like because I'm Black, I'll probably never understand you. There's just certain things you're not going to get, and there's certain things that I'm never going to get. But as a whole, that really shouldn't dictate anything. How do we not have anything to talk about just because we're different races? I think that's very stupid. And if that's how you feel, I don't think you very bright. Like I'm Black, okay, and you can be white, that's fine. But there's no other common ground. You don't like sports, you don't like cinema, you don't like music. It's just, no, we have nothing in common because, you're Black and I'm white and that's it. Like, okay, well, then you're a weirdo. I'm just going to, go on about my business. And sometimes I just feel like that's how it's treated. People only want to talk to you about that as if you are not a whole human being.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of Black History Month has become. I apologize, train's gonna train.
Choo
I
choo.
feel like Black History Month every year has become Black people explaining Blackness to everyone outside of Black culture, as to where it should be something as if Black people are celebrating with other Black people about Black culture, and we have to be paraded around all these different stages, be like, oh, here are these choice Blacks, we're going to tell you about Blackness for this month. And it's like, I think that's where it can become performative, to where the audience for anyone's Black History promotion is not for Black people. It's for other people to see Black people. Like, we have to be seen versus we're not good enough for ourselves, you know?
Agree.
And I think the
Yeah.
tone is very much, it's very palatable if it's there.
It's really just us explaining ourselves as if we're, see, we should be here, right? Like, huh?
Yeah.
Why am
Right.
I
We should
explaining
be able to fit
myself
into
to
these
you?
We're
spaces,
just
right?
like
Yeah,
Yeah,
you.
just
we're,
We're
like
just
y'all.
yeah.
that is the
No, like
mm.
that's yeah.
Well, imagine having to say I'm just like you,
Yeah.
that
It
that's
does.
weird.
It does. It does rub me the wrong way. However, when I was in my, I can only speak on this because I experienced this. I was in my, what was it, race, gender, and justice class, and my two white, co-students, or not co-students, but my two white classmates, that's the word. Come on. They were
Come on,
like
co-students.
co-students. They were
Come
like
on, go.
I ain't never heard that term before. I've
Come on,
heard come
code
on,
students.
co-students.
but my classmates, they were like, yeah, I hate Black History Month. If I were Black, I would also hate it too. Da 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 da. Because it's the shortest month too, and I just feel like XYZ. And I was like, oh, like I don't think this is really the place, or you really had the room to speak. Like, this isn't your month, and I'm not saying that you can't have an opinion on it, but I don't think you should be telling Black people how they should feel about
Agree.
the
Mm.
month that is theirs. Like, I can feel however I want to feel about Black History Month, but it's not vindicative or corresponds with how you tell me I should react to this month.
Nothing's worse than someone trying to tell you how you should be
Should be.
living about something. I know it's different because I grew up in the 90s. So when we did do the, like, we grew up by a very simple code back in the day. Times have kind of changed. Um, People that you do you, we do us. And if you somehow get that wrong, you just got to come outside. That was the rules. It was never trying to get people to be understanding or accepting. If we were good, then we were good. If you somehow got beside yourself, there really wasn't any room for error. I don't really know the rules now. I feel like at this point, people just let people rock with a lot of questionable things. And I know back in, like, I hate saying back in my day, but it's like, what's the rapper? Tanekalon? Is that his name? The 69, that guy? The fact that every song is just like nigga, 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 like we
Yeah.
allow now, like back, really, this is a, we're good with this. We're giving passes to this. I find that we're giving more passes now and having to be more, we got to explain ourselves more than ever. Before we didn't. We just, you can try us if you want to, and that was pretty much it. And I kind of respected that more. Now, in trying to get people to understand us, we're kind of allowing people in to the point where they get real comfortable and it gets very awkward. At least it does for me.
I hate to jump on the bandwagon, but back in my day, when somebody had the chest, the N-word chest, everybody knew what was gonna happen. You slid that word in, and then you might as well take your backpack off and take the L
Exactly. As soon
because you
as you
was gonna
say it,
get
just
your
take the
ass beat.
backpack off.
Take the
And you
backpack off,
knew.
and you was gonna catch these hands.
You gonna
But
learn today.
nowadays, it's not like that. Which not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but at the same time, it's allowed this sort of shift around the word, and there's more freedom with people thinking, oh, it's just a word, and
Yes.
it's not just a word. That word isn't for you. If you're
See,
not a
but
black person, that word isn't for you.
And it's funny because me personally, I don't really say it. I
Me
don't.
either.
I don't really trip on people who do, as long as you
Yeah,
fit the criteria. But for me, it's
exactly.
not something I say very often. But that's just a me thing. I talk the way I write, and it don't really come up. So it's not a word. I don't know. It's not a me thing. Now I'm not gonna tell you how to do you. In the words of Pride, I ain't gonna yuck your yums. But at
Yep.
the same time, it's gotten to a point where I'll hear it, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, who's saying it? And it's like,
Yep.
how is this allowed? When?
Yeah,
In what
exactly.
world? And
And then
I'm
you get in that headspace where you're mad, but you're also like, oh, it's not my job to check your friends because you allowed that clownery to go on. That's why they're comfortable enough to say what they're saying and do what they're doing
Yeah,
because
and
you allow it.
again, I was
You
raised.
know
My parents didn't play that, so my
exactly.
parents were like, if these are your friends and these are how your friends are, coming at you, then they obviously don't respect you. I feel like it comes down to a level of
Yeah,
respect,
very
and I
much
think
that.
that's something that we do not have. I
Nope.
can say that I've been good with everyone. I like my rock music. I was on the skateboard. I went to private school. I've never really had these issues, and I'm not saying that doesn't mean other people haven't.
Mm.
And I feel for anyone that has happened to, but it does come down to respect. And then after, if they don't have it, that's how you know. And sometimes, see, my thing is you don't have to like me, but you'll definitely respect me. So when it had to
Come
do with
on,
things like that, just take the backpack off.
just take it off.
That's just what it is. I've only
Yeah.
experienced it one time, and it was a real time. And it was one of those things where, sometimes you could tell yourself, nah, that's not what happened. It's a
But it's
misunderstanding.
but
This
it's
was
yeah,
not a
no,
misunderstanding.
no. Yeah, you said what you said. You did it. Mhm.
We went to John's Incredible Pizza, and I want to say the monster had to be like 3. She was very little, and
Mm.
we were walking inside. There was this older white dude, and when I tell you, he grabbed the door and held it so we couldn't come in, like
What
made
the?
full on eye contact with us. It was like, wait, now mind you, the monster don't get what's going on, and Porter and I
Yeah.
are looking at each other like this shit really happening. So it was like, all right, because well, I don't know what we're supposed to do. We got the monster. We just gonna
Yeah.
start out a whole brawl for all? Like, okay,
Mhm.
bet. So then after he couldn't hold the door no more, he proceeds to get in line, in which case we come in. When I tell you we were all sitting in the little kids' room watching Teen Titans, and it's like you did all of that, but I'm still sitting right next to you. I'm still eating. And I mean, they were having a
Uh,
whole birthday party on their end, so I don't think that would have we wouldn't have won that war because
yeah.
it was very many of them. But what I'm saying is, it's like it was gobbledygook, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, it was like you did all of that, and I'm
For
still
what?
sitting
And I'm
right.
still here. You
And I
you you're
just
still
eat my
lost.
little dry
Yeah.
pizza because it ain't the best food, and I'm smiling at him like, now why you did that? Why you did what you did when you did it?
What'd
Now
you
what
gain?
you gained absolutely nothing. And I remember Porter said when he went to work, he told his boss's wife, and she's Portuguese, and she said she just would have got back in her car and cried.
And
And it was
no.
like,
Yeah.
really? And people see things differently. She was
Yeah.
like, that really happened. I just would have went in my car and cried. And it's like, really? That's what
That's your response? Yeah.
you
You
did?
know,
see, but I also feel like as
people
black
it's
people, we built
different
different.
strokes.
We really
Yeah.
built different.
Yeah, different
Like,
strokes.
cry for
Cry
what?
for yeah.
Exactly. It's like that never crossed my mind. Like, cry about what?
Like for what?
Like
Hello?
I live in South Florida, so I can't swing a cat and not hit a racist. So, the
Can't
that
swing a cat, not hit a racist.
so that it's very prevalent where I am that you hear that word all the time. And like I said, it's very the scales of justice are very balanced down here in South Florida. For every racist, you get a goon that's willing to take you out. like so, you really gotta read the room, if you will, before you want to go on with your racism, because somebody will sneak you real quick. And you're like, wow, that's
Do
crazy.
we
And
have
now
a
they're in
situation
here
where
fighting.
the more we try to that we're putting these positions like Black History Month, and you're putting yourself out there, and it's like, I'm just like you, and things like
Mhm.
that. The more we do this, the more there will be resistance from others saying, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to do this. Do you think it's because it keeps being thrown in their face, or is it just they ain't shit to begin with, so it just is what it is.
I
Wait,
think
who's
we're
tired?
I think we're
People
in a
who are
day.
not black or people who are black?
I
People who
think
are not,
yeah,
you
I
know,
think we're in a day and age now where like we'll never get a full scope of things because of how the internet and how internet life works and how people on the internet like to troll just for attention. We'll never get a full scope of how things work because you keep in mind racism isn't something you're born with. It isn't something you inherit. It's something somebody has to teach you. That
yes,
you can't trust this person because they're less than you because they're a different skin color, right?
Mhm.
But because things like those ideas exist, people on the internet take that and they run with it. Like, you know,
yeah.
you can't, you'll
When
never know.
it comes to saying, you know, educate, educate,
Yeah.
is it wrong to just say, I feel like they're already educated and they know
Oh,
what they
they're
want to know?
educated in ignorance,
It's a
correct?
parent's
Mhm.
Yes,
job. It's a parent's job to educate, not a stranger.
yes.
If
And so
you
once this happens, I feel like these things happen. It's like, but this is something you were obviously taught.
yeah, you
So
know better.
you've already been educated. You've just
Mhm.
been educated on the side that we don't rock with, which is why for me, in the way we grew up, it was like you already know. So there's
Yeah.
nothing for me to educate you on.
Because
Just
you
take
are
your
just
backpack off.
choosing to not.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
this
So
the
you made
Exactly.
a
situation.
choice. So now I'm making a choice to take the backpack off. And that's it. Is that wrong though?
No, I don't think it's wrong. But again, times change, society changes. Now, like those kind of hard knock lessons are kind of frowned upon now, which I get it, but at the same time, I'm kind of on the fence about.
I feel
I
like we
mean,
did
I
better when
still
I
very much those videos of them girls punching people who say nigga, and then it's just boom right in your mouth.
Yeah, but I'm
Like, bro,
saying like, you know,
no, it's frowned upon now. And I'm
yeah,
not saying we run around in these streets and everybody's just
just
brawling. No.
knocking people out.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will say, and this is just from me, because I know it's a different day and age. Kids don't get whooped. Um,
That's true.
it
That's true.
really, and I know people are like, well, yeah, because it's wrong, and they consider it corporal punishment and this, that, and the
Hmm.
third. But it's someone who's taken many a whooping. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I'm
You know,
fine.
I'm also fine.
I'm
you
also fine.
Them whoopings, they built a lot of
Character.
character.
They are
I
character
am so
developing.
strong as an adult.
I am who
and
I am because of those whoopings.
I never, for me, I always looked at it as, especially when it came to like the monster or like my nephews and my niece, we're on them because we care. I've always
Yeah,
believed it was either one of two things. You're either going to teach them because you love them, and you, or you're not, in which case life is going to teach them, the streets are going to teach them. So if anyone's going to teach you, it should be those who love you most, because once you learn in these streets, no one's going to care about you. So if you're learning, you're probably learning the hard way. So it's one of those things, it's best you learn it. Or I learned from friends growing up, you after school, and it's like it seems like, oh my god, imagine fighting, that's terrible. But it really was a thing where you grew from that, you learned from that. And I can say that 9 times out of 10, when we were kids, you could fight on a Friday and you be
and
friends
be
on
friends.
Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
The people that you
Fighting was the best way to get it out of your
never
system.
talk to again. How does that
Yeah,
make sense? You get into it with a friend and you hash it out, you're good again. But something
yeah.
about when you don't and you just stop talking, you never talk
It
again.
festers. It
It,
festers.
it literally just grows and it manifests into something really bad. I'm one of those people where I have to say how I feel when I feel that way, because if I don't, it's going to bother me. When something happened to you and you don't handle it the way you feel like you should have, so you be like reenacting it in your mind. Like if it ever happens again, I'm going to be like this, and you do
Mm.
it differently. I try to avoid that because that's how it manifests. And then it gets really bad and something really small becomes this big thing for no reason.
It's like that car ride after the argument when you're like, "Damn, I should have said this.
Did
I
this.
should have did this.
Yeah.
I should have did." Yeah, I feel that very much. Um, you know, yeah, woo, that was informative. We did that.
All in all, I just hope everyone had
Yeah,
a great month. Um, I don't know.
I
I'm
do.
curious
Yeah,
to
A
see
I
what
hope.
happens.
fantastic month, if you will.
Yeah, I
And I
hope
hope that you
everybody
continue to
got.
have fantastic months post Black History Month as well.
Yeah,
Exactly. Just a great year, damn it.
I hope
I hope,
everyone has
let
a
it be
great black ass month.
let it be the
Every
year of
month.
excellence, not just the month of excellence. The
Not the
year.
forever excellence, not
Come
just the
on,
we claim it.
the
Oh,
era
I
of
like
excellence.
forever excellence.
Yeah,
I'm here
come
come
for
on,
that.
the era of excellence.
come on. Yeah,
Was it the
we
century? The
did
millennium
that.
of excellence.
Yes, the millennia at all.
From now into perpetuity, excellence.
There we go.
Perpetuity.
Yeah,
From the teacher to the co-student.
Wow. Now you did that.
Come on,
Ooh,
Coach
co-student. I did.
Come on.
The way. Well, just like the
Oh, y'all
28
want to hear
redraft.
something funny? Y'all want to hear a little fact that I learned?
What did you learn?
Well, before we get into that, are we good on the month of excellence?
We can wrap this up just like the 28. Wrap
Come
it up.
on.
Come on.
So check me out. So did y'all know that in this world, only 2 mammals like spicy food?
Really? We're one.
Humans, and the tree shrew.
The what?
Shrew, tree shrew.
What?
Tree
What is
shrew.
that?
You don't know what a tree shrew is? It's like, it looks like an
First
ugly
of all,
little
Brian, I
squirrel.
don't even think you're saying this word correctly, but go ahead.
It's a shrew, a tree shrew. I'm saying
You're saying
Google
tree
shrew.
Tree shrew. Yes.
not a
it's
sand shrew. It's
No, not
Not a
a
sand
tree
shrew.
shrew. That's where sand shrew came from, though. It's supposed to mean
Okay,
sand
hold on.
and
I have to
shrew.
Google it because I don't know what this
It
is.
looks like a little rat with a long
Yeah,
tail.
it looks like a little rat with the
It looks like a little
squirrel.
anteater. Yes.
Yeah. So
It
I
looks
didn't
like
even know this thing
So, like-
existed. Okay.
so
Because
tree shrews have a mutation in their iron channel receptor, right? It
Okay.
makes them less sensitive to the hot chemical in chili peppers, and as a result, it's become part of their main diet. So that would make the tree shrew the second mammal in this world to like spicy food. And I don't know why anybody likes spicy food in the first place, but that's beyond me.
Oh, that's
Brian,
when he gets
now
ready
you
to
get
turn
heartburn.
around.
Okay.
He said,
He's like, I'm about to
Yeah.
turn around. I'm like,
Yeah,
here we go.
I hate
Imagine
spicy
not
food
liking
so much.
spicy foods. I
It-
hate that for
It
you.
almost kills me every time. I personally like to enjoy the taste of my food and not just be sweating and having my tongue out and breathing all
I
hard.
don't
You're
like
just
food
Like, what
that's
do
so
you
hot it
gain?
just tastes like ow, but I'm here
What do
for
you gain from that? I just like, why are you doing all that? Why don't you just eat
See,
regular
but hot
food?
wings be hot winging, and it's worth it.
The way B, you be going through
Yeah,
it.
B dies over
Not-
chicken at least.
you
Ooh.
Brian, not nut,
She'd
but
be like,
she
ooh. The science
like,
be so
it wakes up
clear.
so good. Imagine,
Like, not you dying like this for
imagine
these
choosing
wings.
violence.
That is violence. That really
The
is.
flavor,
It's really the spices in your nose just really knocking
I know
everything out.
running. I be going through an
I
episode.
really feel like it cleans out your sinuses.
It
and
do. I
makes
be
you good.
breathing.
It really does.
But is it worth it?
Really
Is it?
doesn't.
Yeah,
don't
I mean, it
feel like
tastes good, and I'm
food
full.
I don't see why Vicks can't do the same thing, but you got that.
Fine. I have something. It's not a fact. It's more of a question. And the only one that can answer this question for me is Pac-Man 630.
Okay.
Okay. So for the West Coasters, Southwesterners,
Mhm.
why is it that In-N-Out's fries are never hot?
You are doing this. You really came on here and chose
Not that weight on you
violence.
like
You
that.
really
clown.
I had
She
In-N-Out
chose
last
violence.
night. And I always have to, whenever we get In-N-Out, I have to cut my heater on, but then I have to cut the heater on down by my feet because my fries are cold. So I wanted to just test it. So when they gave us the food, I just ate a singular fry. And Porter's like, you can give me a fry. And I'm like, oh, I'm not eating them. I just wanted to know if they were hot. I've never had a hot In-N-Out fry ever. Even when I eat inside, it's always just like lukewarm, not cold, but warm enough for you to not be annoyed that your fries aren't hot. But I've never had a hot fry. Like they never tasted like y'all just made them. Why?
I will say they lose heat, and I'm gonna say this on like a look, maybe a custom review because I do work in and out, but but I will say that these are definitely fries you have to eat fast. So like when we ask you specifically.
Them down.
If we ask you,
is it gonna be for the car or are you
yes,
taking
because
home?
yes, when we ask, do you want this for the car? It's because them fries, they may not make it to the trip. So that's why we were like, you want a box, sis? Because we kind of want you to eat this right this very
Is it
moment.
like on some Starbucks where there's just a very specific temperature that your fries are supposed to be? Like, like with Starbucks coffee, you can ask for a very specific temperature. Is there a reason why they're never hot?
I don't see, and this gets into the science of it. I think, I'm always, this gets into food science, and what I don't know is that. But I am assuming something's going on, and I'm assuming it's less preservatives or something like that makes it lose heat or not be able to withhold heat much long. Oh, that's not the right sentence structure, but as long as, compared to other fries. Like the fries that you get. Yes.
And as soon as you do, it's regret. Like, oh, these
But
hot.
here's the question though. It all depends on the temperature of the oil that you're cooking in, the type of oil that you're cooking in,
Mm-hmm.
how airy the fry is,
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not you guys use heat lamps.
I'm saying it's
Those are
because of
all
the
factors
potatoes.
that
Oh,
go into
heat
it.
lamps? No, you
Green
can really
fries
see
are
it.
weird potatoes.
Oh, you
and I
don't
know
use heat lamps?
No, it
Well,
comes
that's
to the
fine.
yeah, it comes to
That's
the
fine
fire.
right there.
And also, don't
I'm
let it.
blaming it on the potato
Don't
because
let yes.
our fries are just built different.
They are, and they're
They're
also
fried.
fried. They're fried. This is my thing, though. Y'all don't like healthy things. They're built different. They
Oh,
come
wow,
straight
here
from the
we
ground.
go.
They're
And
Here
I
fried
we
eat
go.
different.
healthy
Canola
things.
oil.
There
BB
we
out here
go.
cooking her pancakes in canola oil. She's healthy too.
Now,
Oh, well,
Philip,
first of
you
all,
know what? I have a question. Pride.
here we go.
You work with a lot of baked goods, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Now, have you ever heard of putting sour cream in baked goods so it's more moist?
Yes, that is a very common practice.
I hate
Y'all
that.
on the East Coast are different.
That is a
Ooh,
very
ain't
common
black,
practice to
not
put
blue.
sour cream in.
I
A
hate
lot of
that.
people put sour cream in.
cookies?
Yes, a lot, not cookies, but like stuff baked
Ah!
goods, like
No,
cornbread
I
and
was told cookies.
like
cornbread
cornbread
makes
and stuff like that, and like anything like cakey, you put it in there to keep it
Nope,
moist.
we were also told cookies.
Oh, see, I'm cookies is above me. I don't
Cookies,
know.
pancakes.
Pancakes would make sense, but
Uh,
cookies is weird because cookies is not like something. It's not like a
and
cakey.
it's like a tube of cookies, not even from scratch cookies.
Oh, wait, wait.
Now,
I'm telling the
See,
whole
now you losing
story.
credibility.
first
Like,
of all,
That's what I'm saying.
it's not me.
oh
I just
wow,
want to know how meatloaf in a bag is talking about
Wow.
credibility, but you never had
Wow.
meatloaf outside of a
Now,
bag, but you want to come
you
for
know,
me.
I'm gonna be honest. Hit dogs do be hollering.
Wow.
You did that.
Come
You did
Your mouth
that.
and dogs do be hollering, but I know you were talking about me. So what about it?
I wasn't talking about you. The sour cream was mentioned, so I said what I said, and it wasn't mentioned by me. It was mentioned by Philip. So you were very selective.
Did I mention
mentioned
sour?
it.
Hit dogs
I
do be
mentioned it.
hollering.
I didn't.
So
I didn't. I don't
anyway,
like sour cream like that.
anywho,
Hey, so you just came for Philip about in and out like you didn't have a gripe with
guys,
him.
I
guys,
didn't come
guys,
for him about
guys,
it. Now
I
I
would
just asked a
also,
question.
I would also like to say, now that we're asking questions, if you out there listening, if you guys want to ask us questions, you can do that now because we've set up a Q&A portion of our podcast that we're going to do next podcast. And all you guys have to do to ask us a question is write it out on Twitter and use the hashtag AskGG. So we'll get it and we'll pick out the questions and then we're going to figure out which ones we're going to respond to and we're going to have a whole time about it. So, you guys can join us in on the spirited discussions, if you will. But, again, hashtag AskGG. We're going to tweet about it later or just, when you watch this, make sure you guys get those questions in and we're going to get them back to you.
I don't think they
Just be
watching
careful
this.
because if your questions hurt somebody's feelings, they gonna be
Oh,
hollering.
yes,
and
we
hurt.
very much will
Alright.
be in. Yep, the dogs are
Yeah, I
gonna be
mean,
hollering.
oof, that was a lot. That was a leap of bound. What in the Jean
Let's holler
Claude?
about the let's holler about the
Anywho,
recommendations.
what are the recommendations for the week? So we
Wow.
can go. Because
I recommend you not
Affected.
being that sensitive. Don't do shit. That's what
Imagine.
recommend. I recommend you not tap dance in it and just behave in
Oh,
odd
this is
ways.
a lot.
That was a
Imagine.
lot.
It's a lot. Y'all
Y'all
just-
came from my mama.
But out of respect, we leaves out. You know what I'm saying? And technically,
Hurt my heart.
every time you mention that bag, you come for mine. So ask me, if I feel sorry. You've been coming for my mama since 2018.
That is cat.
Wow.
It wasn't even about your mom. It was about you, Case, and personally putting your meatloaf in that bag.
So are y'all recommending?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, Mama. Yeah, is that what we're recommending?
I'm recommending don't learn nothing from your mama this week because all it
Wow.
Wow.
Be careful learning from mom because you learn some really weird things. We have sour cream cookies, meatloaves in bags, and friends coming for you. Just be careful sitting next to moms. That's my recommendation for the week.
Right. All right. Who?
B, would you like to go? Oh no, I'm going last. I have an actual
Okay.
recommendation.
Okay.
I would like to recommend eating your food. It's a lot of people
Wow.
out here not eating their food and they food get cold. And I think that's a problem, like a national problem, an epidemic, a pandemic, a panorama that we're having of people's foods going uneaten, getting cold because they want to stick their neck in someone else's food and then they food just end up taking, missing, cold.
Thank you, B.
Ooh,
Thank you,
y'all
B.
did that.
Thank you.
Eat your
Well,
Thank
You
you.
get involved in anything.
My recommendation is not a personal attack towards anyone. I just wanted to say that, I've recently gotten into my anime backlog and I started watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, and it's a good ride. If you guys like isekai animes, that means another world. Usually that's good. And there was another one I started watching. I can't remember what it's called at the moment, but that'll probably be my recommendation for next week because, I'm getting into that and I'm enjoying that. That's all I got.
My recommendation this week is actually a Black artist outside of Black History Month. I'm doing this. I would like to
I should have did that.
Yeah, I'm recommending my great friend and amazing artist, not artist. Wow,
Artist.
Artist Morgan Alicia. It's MorganAlysha, and she has a website.com at that. Look into her. She does amazing work. She has amazing prints. She's so full of heart and passion in what she does. And I just want to put a spotlight on her because she's amazing. And I want to do it every chance I can. And so I just want to, she's amazing. Check her out.
Damn, I should have did that.
Shout out to Momo.
Yes, she does that.
Come on, Momo.
Heart you, Momo.
Love you, Momo.
You had all
Momo.
All right. So, Casey.
recommendations. What do I recommend?
Now. That was your recommendation for the week.
Yeah, you did.
You did that.
I'm sticking with mine, but I just want y'all to know I was able to get my shoes. I got my King Griffey's, and I got it.
Yay.
Come on, you got your Kenneth Griffins.
I just want y'all to know that I was able to get them, but I didn't have to pay more than the original price, which is a big deal. Because usually when you miss shoes in their official release, you got to pay like a smooth 15% more, 20% more. When I tell you they sold out and then they were originally $795, and I was able to wait it out for a restock.
700.
Yeah, they went from $120 to, for my size, $795. Do you see why I get excited about these? No, I'm not going to buy that at those. I waited, and I was able to catch them on a restock for kids sizes. Shout out to, having little feet. And I was able to get them for the original asking of $120. So, that's all.
Imagine spending $700
for shoes.
And
they stay in the box. They really do.
They don't go nowhere.
They don't go nowhere.
And I broke in.
Oh, you did wear the Miracle Whip shoes. You did that. You wore
a total of 3 pairs of shoes?
Yeah, but I was able to break them in. Y'all are just never proud of me. We don't go anywhere anymore. I'm just gonna wear shoes to walk around the house.
Well, you could. But Casey, while
instead
we're
of wearing
them
goofy ass shoes.
Wow.
We're not going to attack Casey. Why don't you tell us what the quote is?
What's the quote? What's the quote?
Attack?
Because this train about to pull right off on the station.
Them house shoes, they was comfortable.
They were cute. They were cute.
Here we
they were really cute. Yep. The quote. Wrap us up.
Wrap us up. I love them. All right. My quote for the day. It was gonna be a longer one because it's one of my favorites, but it's fine because B's petty and she hurt my feelings. So my quote for the day is: play stupid games, win.
Wow, I am sick.
Come on, who's the author of it?
Especially because B said, eat your food. So, you in these streets, you see people doing things, you choose not to eat your food and it goes south for you. Just remember, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Wow.
Who's the author of that quote?
Shit, I don't know.
Wow.
Y'all attacked me for not knowing the author of my quote.
I really didn't, but it's an amazing quote and it makes me happy.
Well, I would like to take us out this week. I know we took a long break this week, but now we're back to stay, and we'll be coming to you on a bi-weekly basis. We will be, recording, editing, and posting these bi-weekly. So you won't catch us next week, depending on if you listen to this the day of the release or the week of release. But we will be back that following week. I believe the posting day of the week is Wednesday, or is it Thursday? Don't quote me. Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
That's a terrible time to be out.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday?
Okay, it's definitely on Tuesday. So we'll be coming at you.
Friday.
Huh?
I didn't know it was Tuesday. Okay,
I thought it was Wednesday. We gonna figure it out.
Wednesday.
I don't check the memos. I don't check the memos.
I thought it was Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
I told y'all it was Wednesday. Y'all are stupid and foolish. Y'all play the stupid game, but y'all the one who came in loud and wrong.
Play stupid games.
Good night. I will see y'all in 2 weeks.
Don't forget hashtag AskGG.
AskGG.
Just don't ask when this is coming because we are.
Bye.
Bye.